Robert Conrad is an American film and television actor, best known for his role in the 1965-1969 CBS television series The Wild Wild West, playing the sophisticated Secret Service agent James T. West. He also portrayed World War II ace Pappy Boyington in the television series Black Sheep Squadron. He was a recording artist of pop rock songs in the early 1960s as Bob Conrad before he began his acting career. He has hosted a weekly 2-hour national radio show on CRN Digital Talk Radio. Early years age discrepancy. Conrad was born Conrad Robert Norton Falk in Chicago, Illinois. His father, born Leonard Henry Falkowski, was then 16 years old. Leonard was of Polish ancestry. His mother, Alice Jacqueline Hartman, was 15 years old when she gave birth, and named her son after her own father. She would go on to become first publicity director of Mercury Records, known as Jackie Smith. She would marry several times, including once to Chicago radio personality Eddie Hubbard in 1948. Eddie Hubbard and Jackie Smith reportedly had a child together before splitting up in 1958. Conrad's year of birth has been cited as 1929, however there is no evidence to support this. 1935 appears to be the correct year per his 1940 census profile. This indicates that he was a week shy of his 17th birthday when he eloped with his first wife, Joan. Career. Signed to Warner Brothers as an actor, Conrad took advantage of Warner's recording division. He eventually released several recordings issued on a variety of LPs, EPs, and SPs 33 and a third and 45 RPMs records during the late 1950s and early 1960s. He had a minor Billboard's hit song in Bye Bye Baby, which reached number 113. In 1959, he played Billy the Kid in the episode Amnesty of the ABC Warner Brothers Western series, Cold Point 45, starring Wade Preston. Willis Boucher appears in this episode as Governor Lew Wallace of the New Mexico Territory, who offers the kid amnesty. Before the Wild Wild West, Conrad played Tom Lopacker on the ABC WB series Hawaiian Eye, opposite Anthony Isley and Connie Stevens. The show was a hit and lasted from 1959 to 1963. The show was also a big hit overseas. In Mexico he signed a recording contract with the Orphan label where he released 2 albums, a few singles sung in Spanish, and was introduced as Tom Lopacker himself. He played Eric Dean in the 1963 spring break film Palm Springs Weekend. Then, from 1965 to 1970, The Wild Wild West ran. Joining Conrad were other stars including Michael Dunn, Robert Duvall, and co-star Ross Martin as Artemus Gordon, James West's partner. In the 1970s, he played such roles as prosecuting attorney Paul Ryan in a short-lived 1971 NBC series, The DA, and American spy Jake Webster in the series Assignment Vienna. He also starred in a third-season episode of Mannix called The Playground, and an episode of Columbo, An Exercise in Fatality. Conrad was a special guest star in an episode of Adam 12 The Radical S4/EPO 4 1971. With his muscular build and cigarette-induced gravelly voice, Conrad found ratings success from 1976 to 1978 playing legendary tough guy World War II fighter ace Pappy Boyington in Ball Ball Black Sheep on NBC, retitled for its second season and in later syndication as Black Sheep Squadron. In 1978 he starred in the short-lived TV series The Duke as boxer-turned-private eye Duke Ramsey. In 1980, he played a paraplegic coach in the film Coach of the Year which also featured a then 16-year-old Richard Marx as a high school football player. In the late 1970s, he served as the captain of the NBC team for 6 editions of Battle of the Network Stars. He played a modern-day variation of James West in the short-lived series A Man Called Sloan in 1979, which was around the same time that he reprised the role of West in a pair of made-for-TV films. He also starred in the 1978 TV miniseries Centennial on NBC. Conrad was widely identified in the late 1970s for his television commercials for Ever-Ready batteries, particularly his placing of the battery on his shoulder and prompting the viewer to challenge its long-lasting power. "Come on, I dare ya." The commercial was frequently parodied on Johnny Carson's The Tonight Show and The Carol Burnett Show. In 1986, Conrad was special guest referee for the main event at WrestleMania 2 featuring Hulk Hogan v King Kong Bundy inside a steel cage. In 1988, Conrad starred in a short-lived television series, High Mountain Rangers, with two of his sons. High Mountain Rangers, known for its spectacular scenery and stunts, had a one-season spin-off, Jesse Hawks. In 1990, Conrad starred in the made-for-television adventure film Anything to Survive alongside Matt LeBlanc and Emily Perkins. In 1992, Conrad played the role of the sheriff in Richard Marx's Hazard music video. In 1996, he played the part of a police officer in the Christmas film Jingle All the Way. He took over hosting the History Channel's Weapons at War in 2000, succeeding George C. Scott. In 2006, Conrad recorded audio introductions for every episode of the first season of The Wild Wild West for its North American DVD release on June 6. The DVD set also included one of Conrad's Ever-Ready battery commercials. In his introduction, Conrad stated that he was flattered to be parodied by Carson. He was inducted into the Stuntman's Hall of Fame for his work on the Wild, Wild West series. He appeared in the documentary film, Pappy Boyington Field, where he recounted his personal insights about the legendary Marine Corps aviator that he portrayed in the television series. Conrad hosts a weekly radio talk show on CRN Digital Talk Radio. Personal life: Conrad was married to Joan Kenley from February 23, 1952 until their divorce in 1977. The couple had 5 children. His second marriage, to Lovelda Iron Fan, produced 3 children. After living in Bear Valley in the High Sierra, Conrad and Fan relocated to Thousand Oaks, California in 2006. Conrad and Fan divorced in 2010. Conrad would be joined on a few of his TV shows by his sons, Shane and Christian, and his daughter Nancy. Another daughter, Joan, became a television producer. In a 2008 interview, Conrad described the late Chicago-made man and burglar Michael Spilatro as his best friend. Spilatro's slaying was featured in the movie Casino. Conrad was involved with a volunteer organization in Bear Valley known as Bear Valley Search and Rescue, which later formed the basis for High Mountain Rangers. On March 31, 2003, while on Highway 4 in the California Sierra foothills near his Alpine County home, Conrad drove his Jaguar over the center median and slammed head-on into a Subaru being driven by 26-year-old Kevin Burnett. Both men suffered serious injuries. Tried on felony charges, Conrad pleaded no contest, and he was convicted of drunk driving. He was sentenced to 6 months of house confinement, alcohol counseling, and 5 years probation. A civil suit filed by Kevin Burnett against Conrad was settled the following year for an undisclosed amount. In 2005, Burnett died at age 28 from perforated ulcers, which his family attributed to his difficult recovery from the crash. Conrad himself suffered severe nerve injuries from the crash, which left his right side partially paralyzed. In February 2013, Conrad gave $500 to a British couple on holiday in Los Angeles after they were interviewed on KFI radio, recounting that their hotel was closed after a corpse was found in the Cecil Hotel's water cistern. References. External links: Robert Conrad at the Internet Movie Database, Robert Conrad interview video at the Archive of American Television.